Okay, in this video we're going to be talking about more of the ranking stuff here. I can get my thing here to cooperate. That'll have to do. So, for some reason I cleared more titles than I should have off of the ranking thing. So we're going to be starting it off with, I need to move this over a little bit more actually. We're going to be starting off with 255th place this time, and we should be on, not sure if you heard all that. Sorry, I'll reiterate. I cleared too many of the titles off of the thing, more than I should have. So we should be on 268th place, but for some reason we're on 255th. So I'm not sure what those other titles would have ended up being. So we're just gonna kind of wing it. And so in 255th place we have Leave, and this is a horror movie where there's an entity trying to get people to leave her alone, hence the title Leave, and they're not taking the hint. So yeah. And then in 254th place is Clear and Present Danger of the Jack Ryan movies. Dad and I watched this one together not too long ago. So there we go. And then in 253rd place is Return to House on Haunted Hill. That'd be this one here. And in 251st or 252nd, sorry, is the 1999 remake version, which Return to House on Haunted Hill is a sequel to. And yeah, both pretty good horror movies. Keep you guessing a little bit. In 251st place, for real this time, is History of the World Part 1. So far, there's not a Part 2, so I'm not sure why it's just called Part 1, but it is. So, Mel Brooks comedy, pretty funny. It takes you from, I think, caveman era up to just after the, I think, Italian Renaissance or something. So, pretty cool. Let's see here. Up next is House of Wax. And interesting story here. This movie has an interesting story about kind of this rundown town that has a wax museum where all of the sculptures are actual people, not just sculptures of people, but the actual people themselves, covered in wax and whatnot. And yeah, pretty good. One that I don't currently have the case with me for is 249th place, Knocked Up. It's an alright movie. It wasn't like 10 out of 10 amazing or anything. At least I don't think it's down here. Yeah, I don't see it. Yeah. Anyway, and then in 248th place is Insomnia, where Al Pacino's character is accidentally kills his police partner while trying to find a killer. He thinks he's shooting at the killer, but he accidentally kills his partner. And as the title would suggest, he develops insomnia because of the guilt of having done that and not wanting to tell anyone or have anyone find out. And then in 247th place is Inglourious Basterds, one of Quentin Tarantino's movies. And 2.5 hours. It's a pretty good movie. It's set during World War II. Yeah, pretty good. After this video, I should probably take the movies we've talked about in this video and the previous one back downstairs so I have more space to put titles alongside me over here off camera. In 246th place, however, is In Her Shoes. I did mention I've watched a lot of Cameron Diaz movies. This is one of them this year, and that I watched this year, and it came out in 2005, and it's pretty good. Good. Words are hard sometimes. Pretty good movie. These two are sisters, and Cameron Diaz wears her sister's shoes and ends up breaking the heel off, or almost breaking the heel off of one of them. It's just kind of hanging out or dangling there. And her sister gets all upset because she's always doing stuff like that to her sister. And pretty interesting. Up next is the unrated cut of Hansel and Gretel Witch Hunters. And I didn't notice a whole lot that was different about this one, actually. So, of course, I didn't watch them back to back, so if I watch them back to back, I might be able to tell the difference between what's different between this one and the regular version. But moving on, we have in 244th place, I need to scroll up a little bit on my Word doc that I have open here. In 244th place is Hall Pass. And yeah, basically the Hall Pass in this movie means that these two guys, their wives are tired of how they behave, and so they give them a Hall Pass to do whatever they want for like a week. To do whatever they want with whoever they want to do it with. And there you go. In 243rd place is Bram Stoker's Dracula. Interesting take on the story. I forget who played. I think Gary Oldman is Dracula himself. Interesting version of the story. In this, Dracula can turn into either a wolf or a vampire bat, which is interesting. And so can other vampires, which them turning into a wolf doesn't really make sense, but turning into a vampire bat, that makes total sense. You'd think vampires would only be able to turn into vampire bats, but whatever. Still a great movie, so I'm not complaining too much about that. It just doesn't make sense at all. In 242nd place is Confessions of a Shopaholic, or as my mom would probably call it, Me the Movie, because I am kind of a shopaholic myself. Lots of funny moments in this. The shopaholic girl there becomes known as Green Scarf Girl because of the green scarf she has there. And yeah, pretty interesting. The next two movies are both in this 4-pack here, and they are in 241st Mortuary, and in 240th is Salvage. We'll get to the other two titles, Memory and Bloody Mary, later on in the ranking. Not in this video, but in the ranking itself. So I'm just going to set this off to the side over here for now. And in 239th place is Bibleman Genesis Breaking the Bonds of Disobedience. It's as cheesy as the case looks. Great for kids ages 6 to 10. Obviously, I'm no longer in that target age for the target audience. And so it was just zany and weird. In where's this over here? Right. 238th. I'm not sure where the movie for that position is. Not sure where it's at right now, but it is Bride Wars, and that one is about these two best friends that are both trying to plan their wedding, but they accidentally plan it for the same place at the same time on the same day, and so they kind of start to fight about that, hence the Bride Wars. But in 237th is The Best Man. Again, we'll get to these other two titles later in the ranking process. So basically, with the Best Man, I'll just read the premise on the back here. Harper Stewart, played by Taye Diggs, is a commitment shy writer and the best man at the wedding of Lance, played by Morris Chestnut, and Mia, Monica Calhoun. Unfortunately for Harper, the timing couldn't be worse. Her new book is coming out, and it chronicles his college life with his friends in a less than perfect light. The wedding party reunites college buddies Quentin, played by Terrence Howard, Murch, played by Harold Perrineau, and love interest Jordan, played by Nia Long. As the celebration weekend nears, scandalous secrets begin to reveal themselves, for better or for worse. So we'll get to those other two titles later on in the ranking, not in this video per se. In 236th place is About Last Night, and this one has Rob Lowe in it, who is currently the host of a game show called The Floor that I've been thoroughly enjoying. And it's I think About Last Night is the title of a show or something within this movie. Good movie though. Good movie. It goes over here. In 235th place is A Simple Favor, with Anna Kendrick and Blake Lively, aka Lady Deadpool. And basically, Blake Lively's character is a triplet and stages her own death. She finds out that her husband is cheating with Anna Kendrick's character, and stages her death to try and get back at both of them. In 234th place is not the Halloween trilogy, but 30 Minutes or Less, And that is Nick, played by Jesse Eisenberg, is a small-town pizza delivery guy whose mundane life collides with the big plans of two wannabe criminal masterminds, Danny McBride and Nick Swanson. The volatile duo kidnaps Nick and forces him to rob a bank. With mere hours to pull off the impossible task, Nick enlists the help of his ex-best friend, Chet, played by Aziz Ansari. As the clock ticks, the two must deal with the police, hired assassins, flamethrowers, and their own tumultuous relationship. So, just based on that description alone, I was like, oh, that sounds like an awesome movie. In 233rd place is Dark Days 2, 30 Days of Night, Dark Days, 30 Days of Night 2, Dark Days. And it's another one of these like vampire horror movies that doesn't have to do with Dracula, but just vampires in general. As is number 232, which is 30 Days of Night, the original. And this one, I believe, has the X-Men Origins Wolverine version of Strucker in it. I can't think of the actor's name though. Anyway, both good movies. And then in 231st, which is going to be last for this video, is 12 Years a Slave. This one is set in 1841, and it's about this guy who was already freed as a slave, who then becomes a slave again to try and free his wife from slavery. And yeah, it has Benedict Cumberbatch, Brad Pitt, Michael Fassbender, Chiwetel Ejiofor, this guy. I'm not sure how his name is pronounced. I've never even heard it pronounced before, so probably butchered it pretty badly. Paul Giamatti is also in it. Yeah, there you go. Okay, before I do another part for this video, I am going to take these cases downstairs. I'm not necessarily going to put them back where they belong yet. I'm just going to get them out of the way. And then I'll be back with the next portion of this video, or the next video in a portion of movies, I should say. And we'll see how it goes.